Tonight, the ACC Network Extra brings you an in-state rivalry with national implications. The best duel in the country this weekend is in Raleigh, as third-ranked NC State host eighth-ranked North Carolina. Hello, everybody. We welcome you inside Reynolds Coliseum alongside Ryan Tice. My name is Andrew Sanders. Delighted to have you with us. This is a big one. Ryan, these two programs have never met as top 10 opponents. That changes tonight.
Yeah, it does, and everyone is excited for this. The entire wrestling community is. Everybody's watching. Carolina authored one of the biggest and most shocking upsets of the season earlier this year when they went on the road and beat number 3 Virginia Tech. We'll see if they can keep that road warrior magic going tonight.
Carolina once again upset-minded. We'll take a look at what's at stake tonight. The short answer, a lot. Long form answer, well, you take a lead in the ACC standings. You continue that long winning streak that both of these programs have. And Ryan, these two teams know what's on the line tonight. NC State has won 6 straight against the Tar Heels.
Yeah, trying to make it 7, which would tie a school record. Carolina obviously looking to prevent that from happening. These two schools shared the ACC regular season championship last year. We'll see how the head-to-head matchup goes now.
And right now, both of these schools are sharing the top of the ACC standings to this point. Still a long way to go, but a win tonight would go a long way towards winning the regular season championship.
Yeah, absolutely. NC State and North Carolina were able to beat Pitt and Virginia Tech already this year. Both times pretty dominant wins, and we'll see how they stack up against one another this time around.
Well, it wouldn't be a top 10 duel without some ranked matchups, and we've got those in spades tonight. 141, 57, and 65. We're expecting a lot out of all three.
Yeah, there's a lot of toss-ups in this bout overall, but these might be 3 of the best. You see how close in the national rankings these guys are? Circle that 141 match. These guys are very familiar with each other. New weight class, new year though, and now Zach Sherman is on top of Tariq Wilson by 1 slot.
Sherman and Wilson, former 133-pounders. They've met 3 times in their history. Now they both move up to 141. But we start tonight at 125 pounds. Jacob Camacho, the redshirt freshman of NC State, against another redshirt freshman, Joey Melendez of North Carolina. We are underway here in Reynolds Coliseum in front of a great crowd. It's an in-state rivalry. And Ryan, we were talking 30, 45 minutes before this one just got started. There was a palpable buzz in the building.
Yeah, and 30, 45 minutes before now, it was probably the biggest crowd we've had all year here in Raleigh, and they draw well, but, I mean, this one is by far the biggest of the year.
So the coaches agree at 125 pounds. Camacho 15-6 on the year. Melendez is 8-4.
Great low shot there from Camacho. We'll see if he's able to finish. Melendez going for that crotch lock to try to stave him off.
Of course, in a duel, every bout so important, but talking to North Carolina and their assistant, Tony Ramos, the associate head coach, said this is huge. And the Carolina bench right now loving the effort from Melendez, and now NC State thinking they should get 2 with Camacho, and there it is.
That was a phenomenal job by Camacho, sticking with that and getting the takedown. He was in a really bad spot there. The ref was nearly getting ready to call some back points. Camacho turns it into a takedown. Excuse me, danger count, not back points.
Camacho looking for the mat return. And there's the escape for Melendez. So a 2-1 early lead here, first period for Camacho. But yeah, setting the table, Coach Ramos was saying, we feel like we need to get 2 of the first 3 bouts. Got to start fast against third-ranked NC State.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge key. If they can get 2 of the first 3, they've really got a chance to pull this one off.
NC State, one of just 2 undefeated programs in the country, 12-0 and 2-0 in the ACC. The only other undefeated program, number 1 Iowa. Hawkeyes are 8-0. Meanwhile, the Tar Heels at 11-1 and perfect 2-0 in the ACC. And the Heels' lone loss coming to 21st ranked Stanford, but they have racked up several ranked wins. Virginia Tech, Princeton, Army, Michigan, and an App State team that is receiving votes.
And that loss came early in the year when they weren't at full strength in their lineup.
Camacho maybe a little out of his range on that shot, got a little overextended. Now Melendez able to control it.
Yeah, trying to work that front headlock and see what he can do with it.
15 seconds left in the first.
Camacho doing a good job of tying up the arms of Melendez, just let it go, but
4, 3, 2, 1.
There's the head coach of the Wolfpack in his 8th season, Pat Popolizio. Led the Pack, the ACC champ last year, 6 straight top 20 finishes and NCAAs on his resume.
big mat return there from Camacho. You got to like that start to the second period if you're NC State.
Coach Popolizio was asked to do quite a bit of media coming into this one. First time these two teams have ever met top 10 opponents. And when he was asked about this matchup, he said, yeah, both programs are going in the right direction and fast. We know what this means to our program.
Yeah, both these programs have great tradition, kind of fell off for a little bit in the early 2000s, and both of them now right back in the mix of it as national players. So that's a credit to both of these coaching staffs. Good job of riding so far from Camacho. He's up to 117 of riding time so far.
Camacho coming off a win over Lewis Newell of Pitt. He's ranked as high as 16th in the country. And that by Flow Wrestling, 19th by Open Mat. Top 25 recruit. He had a big redshirt year last year.
Yeah, NC State was in really good position at 125 last year, which allowed them to redshirt Camacho, but the coaching staff knew what they had in Camacho and were very excited about getting him into the lineup.
And a big fist pump from Pat Popolizio as he sees the mat return from Camacho. He continues to be on control. Over 1 minute and 45 seconds of ride time. By the way, Ryan, this is not the first time these two have met. They actually met last year when they were both redshirting. And Camacho got the win over Melendez. That came in the National Collegiate Open, and that was in the first place bout.
Yeah, and that's a match that's late in the season. I believe the National Collegiate Open was in March. So that's after those guys have had a year almost of college wrestling and have really been able to develop. And we'll see whether one closes the gaps or extends it tonight.
Oh, Melendez, can he escape? The point is awarded at the horn, and what a big moment that was. I think they're going to take a look and make sure.
No, it doesn't look like the ref.
Clean.
Yeah, the side referee confirmed the call. That was good enough for the head ref, and this is not a time you want to use your challenge if you're NC State.
Coleman Scott, the head coach of North Carolina, leading the Heels, as you see, to their best finish since 1995, that 19th place finish last year.
Okay, red set, cover green.
He, like Pat Popolizio, was an outstanding wrestler in his college days. Both of them wrestled at Oklahoma State. So what do you think about that second period there? Because Camacho was almost able to ride Melendez out, gives up an escape with 1 second left.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there to just in that situation, ride him for 1 minute and 59 seconds and then give it up at the very end to tie things up. But if Camacho's able to get away.
I have a reversal here. He does.
And now he's going to start racking that riding time back up. He's just crossed 2 minutes.
And he's going to cut him.
Neutral.
So up one, but again, riding time almost locked up at this point.
Another nice shot from Camacho there. We are getting funky out here.
Looked like Camacho was in trouble for a moment.
No control. No control. 250.
I think you got to give Camacho credit. He always seemed, it did get pretty funky there for a second, but he didn't really seem bothered.
No, he was calm, cool, and collected under pressure there. And again, sticking with it after his opponent first stymies what he's trying, sticks with it, gets his 2.
And how about the confidence from Camacho and from this NC State program? They want to attack for 7 minutes, complete minutes, and immediately, even late in the round, he's looking for the cut and go again.
Yeah, and this is a great tone setter if you're NC State. Just the way he started this match off. And he has another takedown there at the end.
Still going to be a decision, but maybe an exclamation point for Jacob Camacho.
Yeah, NC State starts it off on style. 9-4 win by Jacob Camacho.
Welcome you back to Raleigh. If you're just joining us, I'm Andrew Sanders here with Ryan Tice. At 125 pounds, Jacob Camacho wins by decision 9-4 over Joey Melendez to give NC State that 3-0 team point lead. We move on to 133 pounds where the matchup is Jarrett Trombley of NC State against Jamie Hernandez of North Carolina. And this bout becomes even bigger now for Hernandez and the Heels. As we told you in the open, they really thought it was a necessity to win 2 out of the first 3 with Melendez falling now. A little more pressure on Hernandez against Trombley.
Yeah, both Hernandez and in our next matchup at 141 pounds, Zach Sherman. And I'm sure the coaches talked to those guys ahead of time and right before they went out on the match about how important these next 2 matches are for the Tar Heels.
The Heels find themselves inside the top 10 at number 8 in the country. With that huge upset over Virginia Tech, which you told me at the time, I remember, you felt like that might have been the biggest upset in the country.
Absolutely.
To this point. I love the message from Coleman Scott after that one. It was, we're not satisfied. It's a nice win, but we can get better. We have to get better. That was the message right away, and kind of the mantra coming into this is we want more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're never going to be satisfied with a dual win. You know, if you talk to Pat Papalizio, the NC State head coach, he'll always tell you he wishes duels were more important.
Yeah.
In the wrestling world, everything comes down to March, how you do in the conference tournament, and obviously the national tournament. But these duels, I mean, you can see the atmosphere we got here in Reynolds Coliseum. You can see the fan support that a duel gets behind it. It's just awesome to see, and it would be great if they had a little bit more importance.
And maybe no surprise that Pat Papalizio feels that way, because NC State has won 79 of 87 duels over the last 5 years. The 79 wins, that's the most in the country. The next closest is Missouri. They have 70. So 9 more wins than the next closest program. And if you say, okay, well, they just wrestle a lot of duels because Pat Papalizio likes dual wrestling, they've got the second best win percentage behind only Penn State.
And they're always wrestling challenging schedules, too. I mean, these aren't cream puff schedules they're racking up just empty wins against. So a really impressive job by what the Wolfpack has done in dual action under Pat Papalizio.
And so North Carolina finds itself inside the top 10, coming off a great win over Virginia Tech. Gives them the opportunity. The words used by the associate head coach, Coach Ramos, was get over the hump.
Right.
Because this is a matchup of a program that is just getting there and feels like they're right on the brink and can take that next step in North Carolina versus an NC State program that entering this week has been ranked in the top 10 for 70 straight weeks. That's a 5-year span, right?
Yeah, no doubt. It's impressive stuff. And this is exactly, to use his words, how you do get over the hump and show that you are one of the top 5 teams in the country. And this is just a big opportunity for Carolina, but I say it's also a big opportunity for NC State, just given how these individual matchups stack up with one another.
6 straight wins for the Wolfpack over the Tar Heels. I thought you asked a pretty good question, which is how much have the Heels really spoken about that? The answer, not a whole lot. I think they know.
That's what they told us. They said the guys are aware of it, and of course, none of these guys have been there for all 6 of those years, but they are certainly aware of the recent series history.
So this matchup between Trombley and Hernandez, no points scored in the first period. Trombley ranked as high as number 22 in the country by Open Mat this week.
It's going to be a caution against Trombley, just his first.
Stay set, green. Cover red.
Hernandez, meanwhile, coming off a pen of Harrison Campbell of Duke last weekend, give him some confidence. Hernandez, 1 year older, redshirt sophomore against the redshirt freshman, Trombley. We saw Camacho was dominant in this position in the second period in the first bout.
All until the last second.
Yeah, but a minute 59, he was very good on top, and
No
Trombley is corkscrewing around here.
Still red. Still red. Still red. Green initiated. Green initiated.
Trombley just hanging on that leg for dear life.
Stalemate. Green initiated.
Honestly, I'm really surprised that Trombley didn't get hit for stalling there, because he's technically the man on top in that situation, and he was on that leg, and the ref did not give any sort of count. The Carolina bench, every one of them was standing up and putting that fist in the air looking for it, but
Green is set.
no
Cover
call.
red.
And I'm sure the Wolfpack will take that one.
Set.
Hernandez able to get to his feet once, twice.
1 minute.
Has to slip back down. Trombley is not letting him go.
Trombley is riding tough right now, I tell you.
Still red.
He's up over a minute of ride time.
One
And there's the
green.
escape.
We're neutral, guys. We're
So it stops at a
neutral.
minute 13. Now 40 seconds left. We'll see if these two can generate a little offense.
Yeah, not many openings in that first period between these two guys. We'll see if that changes in the last 30 seconds of this period. See Trombley trying to keep his defense going. Rolls under now.
No control. No control. You're good.
Stalemate's the call.
Fix your strap on your shoe there, bud. I think y'all are both bleeding, to be honest. He's got it on his lip. Go ahead. I got blood
I
on
didn't
both
see if
guys.
he had blood on him.
Check his lip, Tony.
Looks
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
blood
got to be
time
Trombley.
here.
Is it?
And
down there first,
the
that's fine.
official said
Oh, no,
thinks
I
maybe
got a lot
both of them are bleeding.
I was going to say he went over and started checking out Hernandez. I did not see any blood anywhere.
I thought Hernandez had a little on his lip. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you see his lips a little cut.
Neutral here, right? Yep.
And so this comes with 5 seconds left in the period. Max is a little bit of a breather, and also an opportunity for both these wrestlers to strategize a bit more with the coaching staffs. Great college wrestling crowd here in Raleigh.
Red, you got choice. Down. Red going down.
So Hernandez knows what's in front of him. Minute 13.6 seconds of ride time in favor of Trombley. So obviously he's got to ride him for at least 14 seconds.
Cover green.
Get rid of that ride time point.
Set.
And of course, Trombley is got to be aware of the situation and knows how quickly he needs to escape.
Red set.
Quick
Cover
caution here for Hernandez. Both wrestlers have been hit with one. Trombley's got to get to work in a hurry. Tries to roll out of it. Good follow from Hernandez. Under a minute of ride time now.
And this is, I was going to say, that's very similar to the other situation where the ref's not doing a count for the guy being on the leg when he's on top, technically.
Keep wrestling, man. Wrestle here.
So now the question for Hernandez, it's a long time, but can he ride it out?
That's obviously the simplest path to a victory. And
he's looked good on top so far.
Yeah, and
115, guys. 115.
I'm no expert lip reader, but I'm pretty sure Coleman Scott was telling him some variation of keep Trombley down as they walk back to the center.
Red, you're set. Cover green.
Trombley in ACC competition. He beat 20th ranked Louis Hayes. That's his second caution. So now the next one.
Red set, cover green. Go ahead.
Beat Louis Hayes of Virginia, ranked 20th. Lost to 6th ranked Mickey Philippi of Pitt last weekend.
But that was a really competitive match.
Wrestled well.
I thought Trombley wrestled really good in that match.
But he has got to escape here against Hernandez and has less than a minute to do it.
And just not a whole lot of motion out of Trombley right now on bottom. That's going to make it awfully tough to escape. There you go. He's getting up to his feet.
And a good mat return from Hernandez, but Trombley already back up to one knee. Trombley takes a peek at the clock. It's under 30 seconds.
Yeah, he really should not be hanging on looking for a stalemate here, which is kind of what I feel like he's doing on that leg. There you go, now he's using it.
Trombley. Crowd wants 2.
Short time.
5 seconds. And NC State's going to challenge this. The
Time's
clock has gone
yeah.
out. The officials don't realize it.
There was no buzzer.
It was too loud in the building. And so they're going to take a look. NC State has thrown out the challenge block, and if this stands, it's going to be a win for Hernandez and a complete right out of the third period.
And I could be wrong, but I think this is a referee review. I don't think they're charging NC State with a challenge here.
I saw the block go out on the mat.
Yeah, they threw the block.
Yeah.
There's no question about they threw the block. But I think the refs said, you know, we didn't hear the buzzer. We're going to take a look at it ourselves.
So you are getting to see what the referees are seeing here. And Ryan Tice, I'll ask you in your expert opinion, did you think in real time, first of all, that there was any kind of reversal?
Well, I thought right here there could have been a danger count. Trombley never able to escape, so not able to get the 1-point escape. But I thought we were getting mighty close to danger count territory and a possible reversal.
No doubt it's close. Question is it enough? And the decision here by the referees is going to decide this bout one way or the other.
You know, it always goes back to that thing, though. Is it inconclusive? You know, is it for sure? And I just don't know if you can call this for sure one way or the other. And you see when time runs out, both refs unaware of it right here. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this one stands.
Yeah, I agree with you. But we will see. Again, this is a tone setter. This is one Carolina feels like it has to have.
Yep.
Call on the mat right now is that they do have it. Now you see what Trombley was trying to do. And the call on the mat will stand. Jamie Hernandez will take the win 1-0 as he rides out Trombley in the third. Two top 10 teams tied up through 2 bouts. A win for Jacob Camacho at 125, a win for Jamie Hernandez at 133. And we've been looking forward to all 10 of these bouts, of course, Ryan. However, 141 is the first marquee matchup that we're going to see. And this is the one that you circled. This is number 1 on your list.
Absolutely. These guys are literally directly on top of one another in the national rankings. That means it's going to be a good one. And let's throw this out there too. Tariq Wilson has 3 career wins over Zach Sherman, all at a different weight though, all coming at 133 pounds.
We'll see if that history plays a factor. Obviously, these two wrestlers very familiar with one another. Heels feel like Sherman is wrestling extremely well right now. 22 wins on the year, just 3 losses. The 22 wins, that leads the team. And the number 10 ranking, that's the highest of his career. Facing Tariq Wilson, who's ranked 11th in the country. And as you noted, they've met 3 times. Wilson has won all 3.
And honestly, I don't know how either one of these guys ever made 133 pounds. They are huge.
Yeah, a lot of height for these two. Wilson, twice an NCAA qualifier at 133 pounds, including a 3rd place finish back in 2018. He lost in the blood round last year. And he is 2-0 in the ACC so far, but facing not just the toughest test of his ACC schedule to this point, but best wrestler he's faced all year.
No doubt about it. Zach Sherman just wrestling really, really well. That's what Tony Ramos told us before the match. He said he thinks Zach Sherman is ready to win an NCAA title.
High praise, and if he can get a win over Wilson, I think that would signify that he has taken that next step. Guy he's lost to 3 times in his career.
Stay out of those fingers, guys.
And a guy in Tariq Wilson that has proven he can do it at the highest level, making that All-American, and not just an All-American, but finishing 3rd.
Yeah, and at that NCAA championships, he took the eventual champion to overtime before falling. So he was arguably right there with the best guy in the country during that tournament.
First periods have been pretty similar so far in all 3 bouts. We haven't seen a whole lot of action, which is, honestly, it surprised me a little bit.
I was going to say, you normally expect the little guys to really get us going. Camacho was the only one to score a takedown in the first period so far.
Wilson has a ranked win over Perry of Old Dominion, who was ranked 14th at the time. He also finished 8th at the Southern Scuffle. Meanwhile, Sherman ranked wins over Shakur Laney, who was ranked 17th of Ohio, 18th ranked Mitch Moore of Virginia Tech. But he does have 3 losses to ranked opponents.
By a combined 4 points, I believe. So right there with some of the best guys in the country.
15, guys, 15.
And as I noted earlier, 22 wins, only 3 losses. So
yeah,
the losses have only come against guys with a number next to their name.
Absolutely.
Once again, the first period features no scoring.
Red's going down. Okay, guys, no score. No score.
Sherman defers choice, and Wilson's going to start this second period on bottom, looking to score, open the scoring, I should say.
Properly. Red set. Cover green.
There are maybe just a handful of empty seats in this building. Wolfpack crowd looking to get into this one, but so far, there's Wilson scoring the quick escape less than 15 seconds into the second period. So far, there hasn't been that big moment yet.
Not yet. I'm sure we'll get that to come.
I'm just a little impatient. Although I would say that Jamie Hernandez able to ride out the entire third period. And the drama that was at the very last seconds of that period.
Might get some upper body work here from Tariq Wilson.
How do you think the familiarity plays into this one?
Well, I think that's goes into the scoreless first period for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you see guys this familiar with each other, you know, it takes a little while for them to get the scoring going, and that's certainly what we've seen here so far. Not a ton of shots yet, but these guys are starting to get more active, and you see Tariq going right back to that underhook, and Sherman does a great job of getting to a shot.
Trying to pull him back in.
And Tariq Wilson is so good at that. When a guy has his leg, he re-attacks, and it's so rare that you get in that position. It works sometimes. Sherman, and there he does it again.
And the second period ends right when Wilson was probably most comfortable.
Yeah, right when he was closest we've been in this match to a guy getting a takedown. But he's so good at that. When a guy lifts his leg up, his arms are so long that he can kind of reach out and re-attack while the guy still has his leg. I haven't seen that very often.
Again, I'm going to set to both guys. Green, stay set. Cover red.
You can see why he catches opponents unsuspecting.
Yeah.
Who else does that?
Exactly. You got to have a certain body type to be able to pull that off. With my short arms, I could have never come close to doing such a thing.
Yeah, you saw the flexibility.
Yeah, that's the other part of
And
it
then
too, for sure.
Able to reach just far past his toes and like you said, re-attack and reattach to his opponent.
Right.
Keep working, man. Keep working. Bottom man. Green, we're stalling. Green.
And a stall warning. Sherman gets it. That's his first.
Are we going to have back-to-back 1-0 matches?
Back to his stomach again.
Wilson doing a great job on top right now. Now he's looking for a
He
turn.
turns him. No swipes. Boy, that went away as quick as it opened up. But once again, Wilson's working for that turn. Now Wilson might get in a little trouble here. There's a couple of swipes. 3 swipes. And the hold is released. Couple of near fall points given to Wilson. So that answers your question. It's not going to be 1-0.
Yeah, Tariq Wilson had no interest in winning 1-0, it looks like.
Sherman takes a look at the clock, sees less than 30 seconds left. And he has got Wilson on his back right now. He has been a beast in the third.
And that was a big-time mat return there. Following up the near fall points with something like that could just be so disheartening for a wrestler.
He's close to another stall call here, I think.
Yeah, the entire NC State bench and crowd calling for it. And now Wilson, another turn.
2 more swipes, now 4.
I think those were 2 separate 2 counts.
Tariq Wilson.
Big time turn from Tariq Wilson. Big time win. 6-3 Wolfpack.
Lights out here in Reynolds Coliseum as Matt Grippy gets introduced. He will wrestle at 149 pounds. Third-ranked Austin O'Connor of North Carolina. And as that number 3 ranking might tell you, O'Connor is a rock star and is a national championship contender. And NC State, it was an either-or, either Matt Grippy who goes or A.J. Lighton. Now this is an important bout for both of these schools because O'Connor's expected to get bonus points. The question is, can he win? Oh.
I don't know if he's just cramping up or if he twisted his knee.
And they're stretching him out as if it's a cramp, but it almost looked like a hyperextension
It was really awkward how he kind of stumbled around a little bit. Cramping can be a big issue when you're, you know, cutting weight and everything. Yeah, look at that. He grabs his calves. I think that was a cramp.
Just 11 seconds into the bout.
And let's say one thing real quickly. That was a heck of a sprawl there from Matt Grippy. O'Connor was in deep on a shot, and Grippy did a great job sprawling and getting his hips away.
And so the training staff will cede to Austin O'Connor. I was going to say, obviously the first question is, can he get bonus points for the Tar Heels? And then if he can, just how many? This is the guy, Austin O'Connor, 18-1 on the year. He pinned the 15th ranked Mike D'Angelo of Princeton earlier this year.
Yeah, and O'Connor
was, I mean, it was dominant before the pin, as you might expect.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And O'Connor 18-1 this year. Lone loss coming to Pat Lugo, who was ranked number 3 at the time. Obviously kind of jumped O'Connor into that number 2 spot now. Is where he is nationally.
So this is obviously an odd start to this. We're only 11 seconds in. They get those calves stretched out. Have you ever been in this position as a wrestler where you start cramping immediately?
Oh, yeah. And that's always where I've personally always had cramps, was in the calves. When you're cutting weight, that can happen. You got to make sure you stay hydrated. And that'll be something to watch for as we continue along.
Grippy was on bottom, gets a quick escape, and now he's in with a single, kicks out the leg, and he'll take 2 from O'Connor.
And real quick, while they go out of bounds, let's explain why Grippy was on bottom there. Because they had to stop it for injury, Grippy got choice. And of course, when you get choice, you want to go on bottom and get that escape. You see O'Connor still grabbing his calves, so cramping's still an issue.
It is clearly bothering him, and Grippy, you have to love the aggressiveness of Matt Grippy.
When there's blood in the water, you gotta notice that, and Grippy doing a great job of attacking.
I mean, he's flexing that right foot, trying to stretch that calf.
You can just look at his legs.
He's in the grip of Grippy.
Just the way his legs are when he's moving around, you can tell he's still experiencing issues there.
The NC State bench wanted stalling, not going to get it here. Grippy got that escape and then the takedown, and this is just going to be some sort of effort from O'Connor, who obviously would be a heavy favorite in this one, but dealing with severe calf cramps. He's not really noticing as he shoots in, he's not really putting a whole lot of weight on that right leg at all.
No, yeah, every time he walks back, I mean, he's walking a little gingerly, he's stretching his calves any chance he can. I mean, they were wrestling, and Grippy was on top, and O'Connor was still trying to stretch his calves.
Wrestle down here, guys.
The headgear starting to come off of Grippy.
Yeah, the ref just says, let me take that and get it out of the way.
Keep working, man. Keep working.
O'Connor maybe getting a little more comfortable now.
Yeah, I think he's starting to get his legs back a little bit. You see him not, well, just as I say that, he wasn't moving around quite as gingerly, but he's still stretching those calves out. I mean,
once you start to get cramps, if you ever had them, you know they can come back in an instant. If you're Grippy, how do you try to attack this?
You keep attacking the legs and keep the pressure on. Don't let them rest. And every time you go out of bounds, Grippy should be, running back to the center of the mat to try to make O'Connor get back to the center of the mat more quickly.
And this time it's Carolina that wanted a stall call. The first takedown, who would have figured that? The first takedown that we saw in the first period, when we started at 125, it comes at 149, and it didn't come from Austin O'Connor.
Yeah, it didn't come from the guy ranked 3rd nationally. And let's throw this out there too. Matt Grippy is normally the NC State backup. A.J. Lighton has kind of established himself as the starter at that weight class so far, but this could be a big-time performance and a huge confidence builder for Matt Grippy, the redshirt freshman.
Well, Grippy has seen pretty good action this year. Lighton missed about a month with injury. So Grippy is, as you say, yes, he is in the backup position, but not completely unseasoned.
Yeah, Papalizio likes to get all of his guys matches as long as they're not redshirting. You know, if they deserve a match, they're probably going to get one at NC State.
And he takes the first period over third-ranked Austin O'Connor, who has been suffering from cramps. Grippy on the year, 15-5, 6-0 in duels. And that is where NC State is right now, and that's the depth that Pat Papalizio loves to talk about and loves to have, obviously.
No doubt about it.
Still green, it's still green. Still green.
I was going to say, I don't know what he's waiting for to award the escape there. O'Connor going right back to that front headlock. That's one of his best positions. He's tried it several times. Trying to put his head in the hole and start circling. Throw by attempt. Good job by Grippy.
Connor shoots again.
No control.
And he gets two right on the edge of the mat. First takedown for Austin O'Connor. And as this bout goes along, he does look a little more comfortable.
Yeah, you see he's walking more normal now when he comes back to the center. Going optional start here because he knows he wants to get back to racking up some points in neutral.
One red. Neutral.
It's interesting how you want to frame this, Ryan, because on the one hand, NC State, the podcast that they have is called the Pack Mentality. And I don't think the Pack Mentality is there's a stall warning there to Grippy. The Pack Mentality is not really to go out and not give up bonus points. It's to go out and win.
That's right.
But in this situation, if there ever was a time, this would be it. And for Grippy, not only is he not giving up bonus points at this point, but he's got the lead.
And that is the second time Grippy has been in a precarious position, able to fight his way into a sprawl, and for the time at least, prevent O'Connor from scoring any points. Short time here, so we'll see if Grippy can keep it 5-3 lead going into the third period.
O'Connor circles around, and what a big takedown that is. We always talk about it, partner. Late takedowns, late escapes that we saw earlier at 125. And so O'Connor is able to beat the buzzer there.
Yeah, that was a massive takedown. O'Connor, I know we're not showing it right now, but basically crawling back to the center in between periods. Maybe a little improved from where he was in the first period with the cramps, but still not fully recovered.
Just obviously not full strength. He's up to his feet quickly. And Grippy is going to be able to hold on for much longer. O'Connor with his first lead. It comes in the third period.
And right now is when Grippy needs to turn it on and start shooting again. See what O'Connor's got left in the gas tank.
Wrestle through that, guys. Wrestle there.
Both guys very straight-legged right now. Not normally a position you want to be in while wrestling neutral.
Talk about the gas in the tank of O'Connor, but Grippy as well, looking fatigued.
Yeah. Put his hands on his knee there, for a second. The universal sign of being a little winded.
Ride time not going to be a factor in this one.
And this is what you were talking about earlier. Yes, you go out there with the goal of not giving up bonus points. pretty safe assumption Grippy's probably done that to this point. But you should be going out there looking to win, and Grippy has just not been able to shoot this period.
There's a shot from Grippy. I had to figure you were going to see one.
Yeah, and that was, you know, some action we got to see. It's running out of time, though.
And at this point, O'Connor knows what to do. And he will take a hard-fought victory. You have to credit Austin O'Connor, dealing with cramps just 11 seconds into the bout, able to come back and get a win.
Yeah, he had to battle not only a very game Matt Grippy, but also those calf cramps. Able to do so and tie things back up on the team score.
Back with Ryan Tice, my name is Andrew Sanders. Glad you could join us here Friday night. And it is some kind of atmosphere in Reynolds Coliseum. Outstanding college wrestling crowd. Here to watch Pat Popolizio and NC State take on 8th ranked North Carolina. The first time that these two programs have met ranked inside the top 10. And we've got a ranked matchup here. Hayden Hidley, AC Headley going at it. Hidley, the red shirt junior, against Headley, the red shirt senior.
And what a treat for everyone watching national title contenders in back-to-back matches.
No control.
AC Headley 14-5, and this is 5th season. Two-time NCAA qualifier, but he is facing a beast in Hidley. Headley was in danger, but now he attacks back. Off the mat, Coleman Scott can't believe it. He gets the escape, but the Tar Heels want the takedown, the reversal, pardon me, and Coleman Scott's going to throw the green brick.
Yeah, what an opening sequence there. Hidley going big time throw, gets 2 near fall points, and then Headley scrambles out of it and at least gets an escape, possibly the reversal.
Headley this year 4-2 against ranked opponents, including a nice win over number 18 BC Leprade of Virginia Tech. But going up against the 2nd ranked wrestler at 157 pounds, and look at what Hidley does here.
That was kind of like a headlock without throwing the headlock,
but then Hidley was trying to reach for that back leg, couldn't get it.
Yeah.
And do you think Headley deserves more than the 1-point escape that they awarded him?
The biggest question is Hidley kind of got stuck there, and might have to see another replay to decide, does Headley get control here on the edge?
Again, this is the look that the referees are seeing at the table right now, so they wanted to obviously see this sequence again.
No, nothing there, no, not 2 yet. Right here is where I think it's 2. It could have been possibly 2, but it all depends whether Headley's able to keep that toe in bounds, like a toe drag like a wide receiver.
And we're told that the call is going to be confirmed, so it'll be 4-1.
Yeah, just no control there.
And then the 1-point escape for AC Headley.
So it stands as was originally called. Nice job by these referees. Got that one right live, and I believe they got that one correct on review as well.
So Coach Scott throwing the challenge brick, but the call is upheld. Hayden Hidley, twice an All-American, finished 2nd in 2018. National runner-up, 4th last year.
And these
Feels
guys,
like in this, his 4th year, his redshirt junior year, this could be his year to win a natty.
Absolutely. And he was so close last year in the NCAA semifinals, really took it to Jason Nolf, nearly pulled that one off. Nolf is gone now, and the top 2 are Hidley and number 1 Ryan Deacon, who beat Hidley earlier this year.
That's the only loss he has on the year. Hidley is 23-1, a perfect 9-0 in duels. And get this, 18-0 all time for his career in ACC duels.
Pretty impressive stuff there.
So that's what AC Headley is running up against tonight.
And Headley's an interesting story because this is a guy who last year was wrestling at 141 pounds. Jumps up 2 weight classes, and you could argue he's had a better season this year than he did last year so far.
They say he's really comfortable with that weight at 157.
Well, I think that means he was sucking a lot of weight to get down to 41 as well. I mean, Headley's one of the strongest guys in this weight class, and Headley does not look overmatched on a strength or size perspective.
Both of Headley's ACC wins so far have been by bonus points. One by major against UVA, and a tech fall victory over Ramani of Pitt last week. But facing one of the better 157s in the ACC here tonight against AC Headley. Give you an idea how good the ACC was at this weight class last year. Headley finished 4th.
And still went to nationals.
The fans getting a little restless here because they're not seeing a lot of action from Headley, but he has not been, unless I missed it, he has not been hit with a stall warning yet.
He has not.
Give him a little space here, please. Okay, guys, second period here. 4-1 red. Green is set, cover ready.
Headley get cautioned here.
Slow early, okay.
Got started just a little early.
Green is set, cover ready.
You mentioned the strength of Headley. We'll see it here on top.
Yeah, and he's been really working his stuff on top lately, racking up bonus points in match after match, it seems like. Since he lost to Ryan Deacon, we mentioned that earlier, he is 11-0 with 10 bonus point wins, several of those against ranked wrestlers.
Easy with that knee. Watch that knee.
Pretty impressive job of Headley on top here so far.
Just now went over a minute of ride time.
Yeah, Headley just not able to get any openings or create any distance. And he has spent a lot of this period flat on his stomach.
Work here, man, both guys.
And there is the stall warning that the fans have been looking for here. Headley with that early takedown, 2 near fall points. And he seems pretty comfortable in this position.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Hasn't been able to get any turns, but he has been dominant on top. Drew 1 stalling call. We'll see if he's able to get a second, but time is running pretty low.
What a second period for Hayden Headley.
Suffocating is the word I would use to describe that. Just didn't allow his opponent to get any openings or even come close to escaping.
Red set, cover green.
So now Headley will try his hand at being on top, but he's got to be a little gassed from that second period.
No doubt, getting ridden like that can be tiring.
Keep it safe.
I would know.
Stop.
Yeah, potentially dangerous situation here.
Potentially dangerous.
I believe with the shoulder of Headley was the
Keep that straight across. Red set. Red is set. Cover green. Shut.
Hidley with the escape. And we've got blood time here.
Hey, his elbow.
On the elbow of AC Headley. So it is the escape point for Hidley.
Yep.
And now they will deal with the elbow of Headley.
I think it's really right there on his chest where he's bleeding from. I'm not. You could see right there on his right. Well, maybe that's
Tricep.
Yeah. He's got 2 cuts on him. Typical wrestler. Yeah, that's where I think the blood was coming from.
Got 133, guys. Shut.
So with that escape, Hidley now with a 4-point advantage. She also has 1:41 seconds of ride time. So at least as of now, effectively a 6-1 lead. He would love to get a major decision here. That is part of that pack mentality where Pat Popolizio is looking for a complete 7 minutes. And maybe nobody better exemplifies that than Hayden Hidley.
Yeah, everyone around the program talks about this guy as a leader, and they say he is one of the best. And it started from day one with him, even while he was redshirting, even while he was a redshirt freshman. I mean, this guy he's the complete package. And on top of all that, a 4.0 GPA.
Just an instant impact to the room.
No doubt.
Here's Headley with a shot.
Yeah, his best shot by far.
Yeah.
In deep, Hidley
What can he do with it here?
working that wizard. Now Hidley turns it into his advantage. How good is Hayden Hidley? Immediate cut. You know he's going to start looking for bonus points.
I don't think NC State wanted that cut, Ryan. If he had just ridden him out, he would have had the major decision. Now he needs another takedown. Pat Popolizio is calling to keep him down. And Hidley, I think maybe
A little miscalculation.
didn't realize how much time was left, perhaps. Again, that's the mentality. He wants to be aggressive, and in that case, just a rare miscue, a little over-aggressive. And there is the stall warning. That'll get the point. And so Hidley, with that tempo and that just ferociousness, he just does not relent. He will take, with the ride time, a 9-2 victory.
Yeah, you see right here, one of the reversals from Hayden Hidley. Big one. Pack up, 9-6.
5 bouts in the books so far as we roll on to 165 pounds. And this is a developing situation where Kennedy Monday going for North Carolina. That's expected, but we expected to see 10th ranked Thomas Bullard. Instead, it's Tyler Barnes of NC State. Not listed as a probable, but Bullard dealing unfortunately with some injuries in practice. Knew that it was a possibility that we would see Tyler Barnes, and it is Barnes to wrestle. So this is one of the marquee matchups, and so from a fan's perspective, you don't get to see that. But how about the position that Tyler Barnes, redshirt freshman, is thrust into now, having to wrestle Kennedy Monday, ranked 16th in the country, and 2 years your elder as a redshirt junior.
Well, he did just see one of his fellow backups go out there and take it to number 3 Austin O'Connor and lose by 1 point. So I'm sure he's coming out here with a similar mentality.
Monday has been up and down this year. When he's at his best, he's one of the best in the country. But he's coming off being pinned his last time out as he picks up a quick 2. But this is a swing-type match where you thought it could go either way, and now Barnes thrust into the spotlight and a chance for Monday to give Carolina potentially a bonus point victory. We haven't seen one of those yet. We were a little bit confused because of that, the cut and then the stall point that was added. Initially, they put up a major decision on the board here. Ended up, I needed to recheck my math. They had to recheck their math.
Everybody
it was just a decision for Hidley over Headley. So the official team score is 9-6 right now. And obviously through 5 bouts, that means we haven't seen any bonus points. Monday, of course, making the swing bout against Virginia Tech. I think he took notice from across the country when he got a Tech fall victory over third-ranked David McFadden.
Yeah, that might be the single most surprising result in any individual matchup across college wrestling this year.
I mean, it's one thing to win, maybe even get a major, but a Tech fall over number 3?
Over a 3-time All-American is just nuts.
But last time out against 18th ranked Zach Hartman of Bucknell was pinned. You can see the strategy here for Monday. Get into his offense, and he's been able to get into it pretty quickly.
Yeah, we talked to Tony Ramos about that inconsistency of Monday a little bit before the match, and he said he felt like Monday just doesn't always get up for the matches that aren't, marquee matches. And so Ramos said, he's pretty confident in saying, I think I figured it out and we got a solution. And they're trying to get him up for every match, regardless of who the opponent is.
15.
Monday is the son of former gold medalist Kenny Monday. And how about this? Monday absorbs that shot, and he might see how many swipes he got. 4.
He got all 4, yeah.
That was Barnes with the big move, but the experience pays off.
Yeah, that was a monster slam there from Barnes. You see the strength, and it's almost like he slammed him down too hard because Monday was able to use that momentum and roll through. And, I mean, that's huge. He just added 6 points when Tyler Barnes should have had 2 8-point swing there. Monday decides to just let Barnes up to start the second period and get back to work in neutral.
Huge 6-point move. And again, Barnes is in the room with Thomas Bullard. He's used to seeing a ranked wrestler across from him, but he's just a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, and Monday just racking up the points there. Nearly had a cradle locked up. Instead, he'll have to settle for 2 near fall points after that takedown.
I think that's right. That's right.
16 points already put up by Kennedy Monday.
Yeah, and you mentioned how we haven't seen a bonus point match yet. If Monday's able to get a tech fall here, that could be massive in terms of team score implications.
Big swing if that's the case. He's got plenty of time left with the rate that he's been able to score so far. But Barnes, of course, coming in, he knows what his job is. Again, wasn't listed as a probable. We expected to see 10th ranked Thomas Bullard. That's not the case. And it's kind of been an odd duel so far, don't you think? With Austin O'Connor suffering those cramps just 10 seconds in. And
yeah, just
we saw a last-second score, a decision one way or the other at 133.
Yeah.
Keep working, man. Both guys work.
Saw a 6-5 match between the number 3 guy in the country and a backup.
Yeah, those cramps were a huge factor. But Carolina hoping that maybe they were expecting bonus points. There's a stall warning on Barnes. They were expecting bonus points in the O'Connor bout. In good shape to get him here.
And probably not expecting them in this match.
Sure.
With number 10, Thomas Bullard, the probable coming in, but we heard he was a little bit banged up, and NC State instead goes with Tyler Barnes.
Set.
When they just needed a takedown to reach the tech fall, takes the leg out.
No control. 2.
He's got the 2. And that is a huge tech fall victory for Kennedy Monday.
Lots of takedowns from Kennedy Monday. That technical fall puts North Carolina ahead 11-9 for their first lead of the match.
North Carolina with its first lead, 6 bouts in, as 16th ranked Kennedy Monday not matching up with 10th ranked Thomas Bullard. Instead, runs into Tyler Barnes and just put on a clinic. 20-5, the tech fall victory. And now Thomas Bullard, who's injured his twin brother, 18th ranked Daniel Bullard at 174 pounds, the redshirt junior, against Clay Lout, redshirt sophomore from the state of Kansas. And Daniel Bullard now is tasked with putting his team back in front, and also maybe wrestling a bit for his brother, who couldn't go in obviously a duel that you want to go in.
Absolutely. You know, he was probably looking forward to that matchup against Kennedy Monday. I mean, that's a big time statement opportunity that he's not able to get, and obviously he's going to see Monday in the postseason.
And it's Lout who scores first. Lout's best win this year is over 11th ranked at the time Ben Harvey of Army. So he has been able to knock off a ranked opponent. And ranked, I should note, higher than Bullard currently is at 18th.
Yeah, and Lout also had a really nice performance at the Midlands, where he took Dylan Lighty from Purdue to the wire, lost only 5-2. So he's capable of going with some guys that are ranked quite a bit higher than him. And speaking of rankings, Daniel Bullard is all over the place in them. Ranked as high as 10 and as low as 21 in the 6 different media polls.
It's 21-5 on the year, 9-1 in duels. He has won 8 of his last 9, but coming out last weekend against Pittsburgh, Greg Harvey was able to take him down late, and that was the difference. And once again, Lout has shown an ability to score in the first period. 2 takedowns.
1 minute.
And Pat Popolizio said that was something he was trying to emphasize. Daniel Bullard's wrestling really well right now, but he has to be able to finish out matches like that and not give up a late takedown like he did. And he's kind of picked up where he left off with Harvey. That late takedown, Lout has gotten him twice.
Yeah, and starting this whole match in a pretty sizable hole, you know, giving up 2 takedowns so far, and thought Lout might chase that front headlock a little bit more.
Wrestle there, guys, wrestle there.
And right now the NC State bench that is usually so energetic and emphatic.
15.
Looking on, just kind of watching. It doesn't look like they like what they're seeing from Bullard right now.
Short time, guys, short.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Clay Lout with a strong first period, a couple of takedowns
Green to first, red.
to take a 4-2 lead. And how the twists and turns of the duel goes, this is why it's so entertaining. Bout by bout, the storyline changes, and when NC State got Hayden Hidley and he got the victory over AC Headley, felt like they were in a pretty good spot. Suddenly, Thomas Bullard not able to go. Monday scores 20 points and gets a tech fall victory. And now Lout comes out, and he is setting the pace against Bullard.
No doubt about it.
Set, cover green.
NC State really needs to start getting some positive things going here to get the crowd back into it.
Again, it's the first lead going into this bout, the first lead for North Carolina at 11-9. And so what that means, obviously, is NC State can't just hold serve. You can't go 2-2 over the last 4 bouts. The Pack is favored on paper in this one. Will be favored in the next one at 184 with third-ranked Trent Hidley, and at 197.
Yeah, and honestly, the mindset going out there for obviously Hidley, bonus points. Carolina was the first to score bonus points in a match, so he needs to fire back. But right now, Daniel Bullard needs to get back to his offense and get some action going. He cannot wait till the end to start shooting and trying to score.
Well, Bullard has not been able to take down Lout to this point.
Keep it safe.
Lout actually wrestled at 165 as a true freshman. Last year he took a redshirt year. Good year. 24 wins. 12 of them were by pinfall. That led the Tar Heels. Bullard defends against that shot well.
Turns it into a shot of his own.
He's got 20 seconds to try to finish this out. There's two.
Huge takedown right there for Daniel Bullard with 12, 13 seconds left. Big time points. And he's very good on top, but obviously the key here, ride out the period. Don't give up that one.
Well, you said he was trying to get the crowd into it. He's able to do that with his first takedown.
And there's the breakdown. That's going to allow Daniel Bullard to finish the period on top and take a 1-point lead into the third.
And the crowd that sounded anxious just a couple of minutes ago after that takedown, maybe not quite as anxious, still some nerves.
No doubt about it.
You know what the rivalry means, and yes, NC State has won 6 in a row over North Carolina. But fans get pretty greedy in a rivalry. They'll say, oh, it'd be okay tonight if they don't get it done.
No doubt.
It's been 6 in a row.
That's right. They want 7 and then some more.
No control.
Bullard gets 2 more. And now this is where he's so tough, as you say, on top. Lout, who started off so strong in the first, is in trouble.
Or you think Papalizio's pep talk about finishing strong's taking effect here?
He has been a different guy in the second half of this bout. I think that's fair to say.
And he hasn't conceded a point since the first period either.
Lout once again, flat on his stomach. And a stall warning.
And now Bullard's got a boot in. Going for that power half. He's so good at that.
Did you see him make a tangible adjustment from the first couple of shots from Lout and able to finish to what Bullard has been able to do?
He just started shooting. I really think it's that simple. He got to his offense. Crowd's not going to like that call. Bullard again, both boots in, and there's a breakdown. Trying to draw a second stalling call. Not enough time, but he is going to get the win.
It was a must-win for NC State, and Daniel Bullard, give him all the credit. The back half of that second period, and in the third, he got it done.
No question about it. NC State really needed that one. Daniel Bullard did just as his coach told him and finished strong.
Third-ranked NC State, 8th-ranked North Carolina. Andrew Sanders with you here alongside Ryan Tice. And it is now 12-11 as we go to 184 pounds. The 8th matchup NC State winning at 125, 141, 157, and 174. But the Tar Heels have the only bonus point victory so far. That came at 165. It went to 16th ranked Kennedy Monday, the redshirt junior. And so that's how we've reached this 12-11 scoreline. And NC State's third-ranked wrestler in the country at 184 is Trent Hidley, and he scores within the first 30 seconds against Joey Mazzara. Both of these guys redshirt freshmen, but Hidley already, just his second year in school, is a guy widely considered to be in the mix for the national championship.
Yeah, our third national title contender of the match, joining older brother Hayden Hidley, obviously Austin O'Connor from UNC. And that takedown Hidley hit to start things off, that's just his bread and butter. He can do that against just about anybody. He's so good at it.
So Trent Hidley, 2 years younger than older brother Hayden, but he is 3 weight classes above older brother Hayden. And it is the pair of brothers in this lineup that makes NC State so good in duels. Because when you go from 157 to 184, you're seeing rankings top 10, depending on where you look. All 4 guys, both Bullards and both Hidleys in the top 10, and in the case of the Hidleys, in the top 5.
I think Pat Papalizio owns Mr. and Mrs. Bullard and Mr. and Mrs. Hidley a thank you card.
Well, he said on the podcast, or pardon me, it was a radio interview this week I heard, and they asked him about that, and he said, yeah, you know, you have brothers, if one of them, you know, you take care of them, they're happy, then maybe the other one comes. Or in the case of the Bullards, at the same time,
sure.
Twins. But Trent Hidley finished second at the Southern Scuffle. He's already got 4 top 10 wins on the year. He's able to drag that toe in and get 2 more.
And he's so good at that pick that he does, just able to score at will with it.
Twice ACC Wrestler of the Week already. Back in the last week in November, he beat 5th-ranked Darmstadt of Cornell and 4th-ranked Deprez of Binghamton. Then last week, he beat 7th-ranked Bonacorsi of Pittsburgh. He is already up towards a minute of ride time. And of course, as I say that, it stops at 57.6 seconds. I don't believe in the broadcaster's jinx when it comes to free throws or something like that, but maybe right there.
But when it comes to you looking silly sometimes, I feel your pain. That happens to me a lot. Even when I'm not.
I almost never say anything until it actually goes over a minute. At one time, you know. Mazzara has a big ranked win this year. Tanner Harvey of American, who was ranked 9th at the time. We just got word the attendance tonight is a new record, which is really saying something, because as Hidley goes back to work, we talked about this being a big matchup in the rivalry, but NC State has had some big ones both on the road. Oklahoma State, Iowa a few years ago. Pretty much anytime they face off against Virginia Tech the last handful of years. Ohio State came here a couple of years ago, but a new attendance record, 4,383. 4,383 in attendance tonight. And I think that speaks to a couple of things, Ryan. 1, the rivalry.
Absolutely.
2, how good these programs have gotten in recent years. And maybe 3, just how fast the sport of college wrestling is growing.
Yeah, and I might even throw a 4 in there, and that's just the job that Pat Papalizio, his staff, and his team have done in terms of giving fans something they want to come out and watch on a Friday night. They want to come see this team. Everybody loves a winner, and they've done a lot of that in his tenure.
Hidley wins the first period 6-2 and has a minute 35 of ride time. Hidley 20-2 on the year, 12-0 in duels. He lost to #1 Valencia of Arizona State, who, by the way, North Carolina is going to have a duel against Arizona State to close out the season. That's one to look forward to.
Yeah, they've got some tough ones left on the schedule still.
Well, they still have Pittsburgh on Valentine's Day at home, top 10 Pitt. Again, that will settle a lot. Meanwhile, NC State on Valentine's Day also at home against 7th-ranked Virginia Tech. That one's on ACC Network. And it's a lot of fun to have 4 programs in the top 10 in the ACC.
No doubt about it. The Little League, known for basketball, getting a lot of respect on a national level.
Center. Red, that's on you. Back and red. Neutral.
And a stall on Hidley there.
Yeah, ref ruled he was backing out, not working to stay in, and so he's going to get hit. Probably a situation where you can withstand taking that without too much damage when you've got a 7-2 lead.
Hidley trying to give NC State bonus points for the first time tonight.
Got 105, guys.
And they'll stand it back up after the stalemate. Mazzara 16-10 on the year. Just a redshirt freshman. He's from Las Vegas. He went to, what's a football powerhouse, Bishop Gorman High School. Well, just an athletics powerhouse, I think, in general.
No doubt. I do know they produce a lot of Division I football signees from that school.
And with the stall, that's an extra point awarded to Trent Hidley.
It's interesting how Mazzara, you see how he puts that right hand behind his back?
Yeah.
He's trying to prevent Hidley from being able to use that arm, so he's kind of hiding it. It's a interesting approach that I've seen used a few times throughout the country, but not something I remember seeing a lot of before that.
Obviously, you prevent your opponent from using it, but
It means
you can't use it either.
Exactly. It's a little give and take there. NC State bench wants Hidley to let Mazzara up and get back to work in neutral since he's got 3 takedowns and has not given any up.
And at this point in the third, you expect Hidley to just keep the pace up. Again, any stall from here on out is going to be a point.
Absolutely. And that's what he should be doing, looking for those bonus points.
And when he has shot, if Mazzara's not backing out, he's had a lot of success.
Yeah, and he's just, again, going back to that little ankle pick type thing he does, where he just runs guys over. Takes a peek at the clock, looks at the situation. And he just makes it look easy out there. Scores off his own shots, and now he's scoring off his opponent's shots.
Green's down.
An 8-point lead right now for Hidley. Plus 2 minutes of ride time with 1:04 left on the clock.
Green is set. Cover red. Set.
Right time now locked up.
Stay in here, guys. One green. We're neutral.
I don't know if he should have awarded an escape there.
No change. No change. Green's down. Green's down. Okay.
But he did, so that's the call.
Yeah, he was still on the leg. Hey.
Again, still and effectively in major decision territory right now when you add the, oh, and then they overturned it. Yeah, and he asked the side referee, did you have it? And he shook his head no.
Green is set. Cover. Set.
And that was a situation there where I was looking to see if NC State was going to go for the cut. Now, Mazzara does get out, so Hidley still has the major with the riding time point.
You got to double check after.
Yeah, I had to make sure.
It was Hayden Hidley, and in the heat of the moment, they again initially when they put the math up, we thought that they hadn't added the ride time yet, and then they put the 4 points for the team on the board. So we thought, yeah, for sure that was the major.
And Hidley not stopping. Mazzara not a fan of that, but
Trent Hidley takes a major decision over Joey Mazzara. First bonus points for the Wolfpack, and the team lead is extended now, 16-11. NC State with a 16-11 advantage now after the major decision, 13-5. Third-ranked Trent Hidley over Joey Mazzara. And now at 197 pounds, we weren't sure if we were going to see 20th-ranked Nick Greenan, but we will. The redshirt junior from Dallas, Texas, taking on Brandon Whitman, the sophomore of North Carolina. Greenan just 5-4 on the year. Whitman 10-11. So these guys hovering around 500. But Greenan obviously more experienced, and now his 4th year in school, and just coming off an injury, 5-4. He missed a good chunk of the season, coming off an ACL tear, and then injury defaulted against Virginia. They held him out. It was precautionary against Pittsburgh. Said he was good to go tonight. And here he is against Whitman. And so this is a big bout for him, not just because victory here would seal it up for NC State and give the Pac 7 straight over North Carolina, but personally, making sure, again, you see he's got that wrap around that right knee. And Nick Greenan, a guy who, when healthy, can contend for a national championship.
No question about it. He is that talented. And as you mentioned, last time we saw him out there, he had to injury default, and NC State even made him wrestle off this week against Tyree Houghton for the right to start against North Carolina. He won, obviously, and gets the nod.
Whitman coming off a loss against Bucknell, but he's 2-0 in the ACC. He beat Stanley Smeltzer of Virginia Tech and Vincent Baker of Duke. He went 0-2 at NCAA's last year, but 4 times was a state champ in the state of Michigan. And that always impressive. Anytime you can win 1, it's impressive, but especially 4. And he's got 2 on Reynolds. And now he's trying to turn him. No swipes to this point.
Brad, are you good down here? Okay.
Brandon Whitman.
Stay active, man.
Has had his struggles this year at 10-11 overall, but right now against a ranked opponent, coming back from injury. And Carolina's asking, where's the stall right now?
Short time, man, short time, keep working.
It's late in the first period. And that stall not coming, but the Carolina bench still loving what they saw in the first period from Brandon Whitman.
Going down.
Yeah, and you mentioned Whitman's 10-11 this year, but this guy's got some quality wins on his resume last year. Beat Tom Slay, who was in the top 10 of Virginia Tech, and he was an NCAA qualifier last year. You don't get to nationals without some quality wins.
And Reynolds immediately just says, go ahead and stand up. So an extra point for Whitman.
I'm surprised Whitman's trying so much upper body stuff, but look at the strength.
It's working, and a grimace from Renan.
And I say I'm surprised by that just because Greco is kind of Renan's forte, so to speak, which is all upper body.
This is a guy, Renan, when he got hurt last year, he was ranked #2 in the country. And he's hit with a stall warning. That's what Carolina wanted in the last period. And if Whitman can pull off this upset, it would set up heavyweights for the duel.
Winner takes all. Isn't that what you want out of a rivalry match?
Why not?
Improve, both men, improve.
Renan, the ref is talking. Renan's got to be careful about picking up a second stall call here.
I don't think the 4,383 in attendance want any part of that, but we might be headed that way. It has been Whitman who's had both takedowns.
And Renan not even attempting to get out here. I mean,
another stall.
Got 15, guys, 15.
And you can see Renan's a little frustrated. He kind of was put his palms up in the air like trying to say to the ref, I think, what's the guy on top doing? He's not turning me, but he needs to focus on getting out. I know it sounds simple.
So.
And you see this big time takedown from Brandon Whitman. That's a grown man slam right there.
He's got to be brimming with confidence right now. 2 minutes away from what would be a big upset.
It's worth noting Whitman has got 2:23 of riding time. So essentially 7-0.
It's going to take a lot for Renan to turn this one around at this point.
Now he is capable of pulling off some of those big moves, but I can guarantee you the Carolina coaches talked to Whitman before the match and said, watch for the headlock. That was kind of what Renan did all last year when he was wrestling on, a torn ACL. A lot of headlocks from him, so everybody knows to look for it now.
He hasn't shot in the first minute here.
Action, guys.
Again,
action, both men.
We're saying he's coming off of an injury, but he was perfectly healthy enough to beat Houghton in the wrestle-off.
Whitman does have the riding time point locked right now.
So he's healthy enough to go, but for a guy that has been one of the more dominant wrestlers here at NC State over the last couple of years, is it just a rust factor? Because it's just not himself right now.
Yeah, he just doesn't look like himself out there wrestling, in my opinion. Healthy enough to beat Houghton in the wrestle-off, but not healthy enough to look like the Nick Renan that the coaches and team need him to be.
Brandon Whitman, dominant, a win over 20th ranked Nick Renan. Whitman will take it. 3 more team points for the Tar Heels, and it will set up a winner-take-all at heavyweight. Deontay Wilson and Andrew Gunning coming up next. You don't want to miss it. Back with Ryan Tice, I'm Andrew Sanders. We move on to heavyweight. Here's what's on the line tonight. NC State has beaten North Carolina 6 times in a row. Since Reynolds was renovated in the 2016-2017 season, the Wolfpack are 23-3 here at home, and NC State is one of just 2 remaining undefeateds, along with #1 Iowa. But it's 16-14. The winner of this bout will take the duel. It all falls on the shoulders of Deontay Wilson, the sophomore for NC State, and Andrew Gunning, redshirt junior from the state of Pennsylvania for North Carolina. This is as dramatic as it gets, Ryan.
And not only that, this is as close to a coin flip as it gets in terms of the individual matchup. Deontay Wilson ranked number 22 by the open mat, number 32 by the coaches panel rankings, and you can flip which one's higher ranked in those. Andrew Gunning, number 27 per the coaches, number 33 by the open mat. I mean, it's 50-50.
NC State trying to stay undefeated. Again, the winner of this is going to move to first in the ACC standings. But for Andrew Gunning, what's on the line maybe a little bit more. North Carolina, a bit of a surprise to be inside the top 10. They surprised Virginia Tech. Can they get over the hump and knock off NC State? Something that Coleman Scott has not been able to do in his time at head coach in Chapel Hill.
Pulling off those two upsets in a matter of, I believe it would be 3 weeks, would just be a monumental statement for North Carolina wrestling and Coleman Scott. It's also worth noting these guys matched up way back in November of 2018. Deontay Wilson picked up a pin at the very end of the match. So we'll see what these two guys have grown and developed with since then, and who's able to come out on top this time for all the marbles.
Wilson got a win over 24th ranked Quinn Miller of Virginia in his ACC opener, lost to 8th ranked Demetrius Thomas of Pittsburgh. And yes, Thomas is ranked number 8, but as you were talking before the match, you know, at heavyweight, it's pretty wide open in the ACC.
Yeah, there's a ton of parity within those 6 heavyweights in the conference. And I think they're going to take turns beating each other as we close down the regular season and head into March.
So much on the line in this one, and you got to feel like that first takedown is going to be all the more important
15, guys, 15,
because of what's riding on this bout.
Yeah, Deontay Wilson, a guy known a little bit more for his defense than his offense, but he is very athletic for a guy being the size he is. Not much of a size advantage against Gunning. Wilson's going to start the second period on bottom, looking to score the first points of this one.
It's the escape. We knew that bonus points were going to be important. Carolina has done an excellent job of denying NC State bonus points tonight. Thomas Bullard injured at 165, couldn't go. Kennedy Monday picked up a tech fall. That's the difference right now. NC State has already won 5 bouts. North Carolina has won 4. Gunning pushing the pace a little bit.
Yeah, like you mentioned, that tech fall's the difference. Let's say Thomas Bullard's able to go and Kennedy Monday wins by just decision.
Right.
That would put Carolina in position that they need bonus points. Instead, whoever wins this one wins the bout. Which guy is going to be able to get to his offense first?
Deontay Wilson, at the very start of the year, had not locked up this starting position, but he has impressed Pat Popolizio on the NC State coaching staff. Went for a single there, came up empty.
You gotta like that Wilson is pulling the trigger here in the second period. Sometimes these heavyweights, you won't see a shot, a real committed shot, until the third period. Not the case tonight.
Wilson with the shot. And they say off the mat. No points awarded as of now.
And looks like we're going to have a referee review. Popolizio had the brick ready to throw.
From what I saw in real time, I thought it was 2.
I thought he had it initially, just like you did. and I thought he was able to get that toe drag. We'll see on this great replay.
Well, what was Gunning able to do here?
Right there, he's got his toe in. It does drag out, but I think he was able to get control while that toe is still in.
Do you see control?
Right there is where I feel like you see the toe being dragged.
And the two-point takedown awarded to Deontay Wilson. I don't know what size shoe he wears, but I think he's pretty happy that it's not a couple sizes smaller. He just fit that toe in and gets a late second period takedown.
My size 9s would have been out of bounds. Coleman Scott over at the table talking to the referee. Huge takedown from Deontay Wilson, and again, very impressed by the big guy, not waiting until the third
Gunning,
period.
an escape, and it took him just 3 seconds. Sorry to cut you off there, Ryan, but Gunning went right to work. He knew exactly what he had to do, and that is a massive point for him. What were you saying?
I don't even remember at this point.
This one's been a lot of fun tonight. It's going to come down to the third period. Gunning down 2. He has been able to get to his feet quickly. Both times here he's been on bottom. But Wilson fights it off momentarily. They go off.
And look at Wilson just bouncing around, showing his conditioning and, you know, a little bit of that athleticism, excuse me. He's got really good feet for a guy being as big as he is. That takedown, you can tell, gave him a lot of confidence. As it should.
And he's got the crowd fully behind him, where they were more nervous earlier. He's looking more and more confident. For a second, like he might be able to get a turn.
I thought he was close for a second.
Instead, Gunning able to fight it off. Just whips around and throws off Wilson. So there's the escape that Gunning needed. And he was able to do it in plenty of time. 30 seconds ride time for Wilson. So not a factor. And now Gunning is going to have to get to his offense. Neither wrestler has been cautioned so far, has been given a stall warning.
Gunning breathing really hard when they broke there.
Under a minute to go. Gunning trying to give North Carolina another statement victory. Meanwhile, Wilson trying to maintain NC State's dominance in the rivalry as of late. And keep NC State undefeated. It is loud in here. Gunning shoots. Wilson denies. And a stall warning handed to Wilson now. And now a stall warning to Gunning.
Could this be any more even?
They get tangled up there. 20 seconds left. Gunning with the shot. He's in pretty deep. Wilson able to turn it around for 2. And he shakes his head. NC State protects Reynolds Coliseum. The Pack defeat North Carolina for the 7th straight time. Deontay Wilson, all you can say, clutch.
Absolutely. What a performance from Deontay Wilson. Takedown in the second, takedown in the third, and he seals this one up in the top 10 duel between in-state rivals.
It is pandemonium in Reynolds Coliseum, and I don't think college wrestling in a duel gets any better than what we saw tonight, Ryan.
This was awesome. Top to bottom, we knew it was going to be close. Lots of toss-up matches, and it did not disappoint. Hats off to NC State. Hats off to North Carolina. This was one heck of a college wrestling duel.
Deontay Wilson, the sophomore from Amityville, New York, gives NC State the duel victory. You said those two guys, these two teams, and those two heavyweights could not have been any more even. And it looked like Gunning had that single pretty deep.
Yeah, he did. Deontay Wilson able to turn it into 2 points of his own, ice the individual match, and ice the duel. Huge win for the Wolfpack. Huge win for Deontay Wilson.
So NC State moves to sole possession of first place in the ACC standings. And a program record now 7 straight over North Carolina. NC State still perfect, 13-0, 3-0 in the ACC. For our fantastic crew, my partner Ryan Tice. What a bout, what a duel this was. My goodness, I'm Andrew Sanders saying good night from Raleigh.